And so, just, no, go ahead.
Oh, no, I'm sure you watched film last night. Is
Yeah.
there anything different on film than you saw on the bench?
Just some unforced turnovers that we got to clean up. For the most part, after watching it, Santa Barbara did a really good job, defending us, packing the paint. We had some good looks early. We didn't make them. Had some unforced turnovers where we should have got shots, especially in transition. We'll be able to clean that up, but for the most part, we got the win, and short-term memory, got to get ready for the next one.
When you watch a game like that, are you watching just with the other coaches or the players in there, or are they going to review that game?
You know what? It goes back to philosophy. One of those things is, you got to move forward. Coaches always review tape. Our whole staff did. Watch and find ways that we need to improve. And we'll do that in practice. But for the most part, you're getting on for the next opponent and preparing for them, survive in advance. We just, there's certain areas that we got to get better.
When you look at the film of Gonzaga, what do you see?
I see an offensive blitzkrieg. You see a team that is explosive. They really feed off other people's turnovers or bad shots. They're as good a transition team as there is. Every player can pass, dribble, and shoot. They're unselfish. They've got everything covered. They can shoot it. They can go inside. They've got great interior players, guys that can play inside and outside. Extremely skilled, disciplined. They're a great team.
Is it the type of game that you think that you'll have to try to slow them down, or do you try to keep pace with them?
I don't think you try to stay pace with this team. This is a team where you've got to be able to control the tempo. You're going to have a great environment. I've heard so much about it. I've been in a lot of great places, so I'm excited about that. I love, I'm a college basketball fan too, and so to be able to experience that will be great. But with a team like that, with a team like this, you can't turn it over. You got to be able to defensive rebound. And you got to try to, make sure that you're getting a good shot on every possession. That's the key. You can't let them speed you up or the crowd make you lose your poise, and you play a little bit faster than you want to. We got to be in control.
Anything that you take away from that game last year?
You know what? I think there were some situations that we were in it. They scored. They scored 18 points off turnovers and 26 points off second chance baskets. And so a little bit like Auburn, what we faced, 30 points off turnovers. Those are areas that you can't allow the crowd or the defensive pressure to allow that. That gets them fired up. That's what they do. And we've got to be more poised. We've got to, 5 guys have got to rebound. And we've got to be able to manage and protect the ball instead of, on those unforced turnovers. We've got to be able to, get a good shot, get it to the right guys, and if we can do that, I think we can, be in the game and hopefully have an opportunity to, have an upset.
What advice do you give Matisse to keep him on the floor longer and stay on top of him?
Well, he's such a defensive wise, he's an artist, and he's seen some things out there, and when he's locked in, he's as tough. He's one of the best defensive players that I've ever seen. I think sometimes he can get a little bit out of position, and it can compromise your defense. I think he has to pick and choose a little bit better, but he. That when he does that, he comes from behind, and sometimes you get in foul trouble. In a lot of these games, he's had 2 early fouls, and the way he's been shooting the ball, you need him on the court. Not only on the defensive end, but for the offensive too. I mean, he's got a lot of confidence right now. It looks great, and that's great to see.
You said last night you made your A game against Gonzaga. Looking at the season so far, what needs to happen for that A game to come out?
Again, I think a big thing, is just unforced turnovers. You're in transition, and we're 2-on-1s, 3-on-2s, where you should be getting shots, and their turnovers are 3-pointers. And there's so much parity in college basketball that it comes down to possession by possession. Especially a game last night where they're taking 30 seconds off the clock or 25. Those are. I could count, 8 to 10 points that we should have. And then, You know, one area that we've been great at last year and we haven't been great this year is defending the three-point line. Last year we were #1 in the Pac-12. I think we were holding teams at 27, 28%. Teams are shooting, I think, at 40. They made 7 threes in the second half. Now, they made some tough shots. I'll give them a lot of credit, but we've got to do a better job defending that line. That's, you know, moving forward, that's a big key for our success.
You mentioned Matisse, and obviously with what Dom was able to do the other night, do you feel like you're starting to get those contributions from other scorers that you wanted?
Yeah, and you know, we haven't had that game where there's been 4 or 5 guys all play at a high level, and we know that they can, and that will come. It's what we work on every day, just getting them to believe in each other and making the right play. You know, it's not your shot, it's our shot. Sometimes they do double team Jalen. Well, he needs to find the open man. He was unbelievable the other night finding guys, picking guys apart. Matisse, we found him in transition, did a great job, and you know, he stretched out the game for us, which is huge. And you know, Noah's there, you know, scoring inside. I think you got to get Sam back and confident. I think he can really help us. I got to do a better job with him, and you know, Hamir is a better offensive player than he's playing, which can really help us because he's really disruptive defensively. He gives you a different kind of look in there, and so you know, just got to keep fighting to put it together. But it really goes back to our fundamentals, and that goes back to we got a defensive rebound, and we've got to make the extra pass without turning it over. And when we do that, when we have more assists than turnovers, we rarely lose. You know.
What's your history with Mark Few?
He's one of the best coaches in the game. Coach Boeheim had a Coaches versus Cancer. Gosh, I don't even know, 20-something years ago that I came, and him and Marcy were there, and I know him and Coach really close with USA Basketball too. And you know, he's a guy that you know, one of the great coaching jobs and builds in the history of college basketball. You look at Connecticut with Jim Calhoun and what he's done at Gonzaga, and you know, it's incredible. Yeah, but they're good people. They're great coaches. They've created a system and a belief and a following, and that's, you know, those are the models of what, you know, we're trying to build here, and what most college basketball teams, you know, strive to be.
Do you like have a sense of what the sort of Washington-Gonzaga rivalry is all about?
You know, listen, anytime that you have, you know, the University of Washington at one point was the pinnacle, and you have always people, you know, fighting, and, you know, rivalries come from, you know, certain areas or leagues that you have really competitive programs. I mean, that's what makes college sports so great. It's Syracuse, Georgetown, Michigan, Ohio State. You get those, you know, you get to a level of where those games matter and they mean something, not only on a national level but for championships. And you know, we're in the building phase of trying to build something that has so much pride and following, and you know, that's what we're striving to be. And so, you know, the schedule that we put together, we were able to play some really good teams, and you know, you're trying to test yourself against the best, and this will be the ultimate test. This will be the ultimate test. But what a great opportunity as well.
Do you tend to embrace all of the craziness that goes with the rivalries, or do you try to downplay that?
Listen, it's basketball. You know, it's like great college basketball environments. They're just fans. You know what I mean? It's I've played in so many great places as an assistant coach, as a coach, and great rivalries. There's an exciting part of it. Those environments make it so special, but it's just yelling. I'd take a player in my own, like, ah! Does that affect you? You know what I mean? Like, that's, you know, it's one of those things. You just gotta, you know, it's basketball, man. You've been playing your whole life. You know, I think the hype of it and the build of it can get you out of, like, really what your poise is, and your you know, it's a big word, poise. I do know that we've been able to execute game plans, and I think you know, it'll just be a great test for us, and hopefully we can show the poise. Hopefully we can execute our offense and get the ball where we need to get it, and then defensively, they're as good a, you know, team, big man passing, shooting. They've got the great balance, but if we can be active over time and rebound the basketball, you know, hopefully we can put ourselves in position to be in the game late where you can have an opportunity to steal one.
When it comes to that poise, especially in an environment like this, does it help to have the kind of experienced roster that you have?
No question, and these guys have been in it. Auburn was pretty impressive of a road game. They were really, it was a rattle in the cages. I felt when we played Kansas, I was going through it. We led the game 28 minutes, so the crowd wasn't really a factor. We were able to get it out early. Just tell these guys this is the simple 3 keys that we have to be able to do. And then you got to be able to go out and execute it. You're prepared, you're old, you've done it. When I say old, I mean they're experienced. And, let's go out and roll the dice and see where we stand. But we've proven to be able to execute a game plan against really good teams, and we've had success. But we've also proven that we haven't. And so it's up to them to be able to go out there. I think they're ready, and we'll see what happens.
You said we haven't seen your A game yet.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we've seen David Chris' A game yet. In order for you to get, for the team to have an A game, does David need to have that type?
Yeah, but I think David, like even last night, I think he had 5 assists, no turnovers. The other day he shot the ball exceptionally well, hitting open shots. I think the thing with David is being able to be the leader out there and don't let teams speed us up. Get them huddled, calm down the guys, make sure the ball's being and we're running what we need to run. I think it goes back to leadership. If I'm a nervous wreck or whatever, it usually rubs off on them. It's the confidence part of it, and that's why David's our leader on our court. His poise in our top games have been exceptional, and we need him to be exceptional. On Wednesday, he's been our engine, he's been our guy, he's been our leader, he's been our connector. Go out there, run the team, put everybody in position, don't turn it over, show your poise, be great defensively, and we all know that if he gets an open look, it's a good chance it's going in.